Next question is, has anything particular helped you or made things worse along the way? So the things that have helped me is 100% my friends being there for me and always telling me that things are going to be okay and always having someone to speak to. It sounds silly, but what also helped me was having my dogs. So my dogs were almost like another healthy, I think, coping mechanism for me, where every time I felt sad I would play with my dogs and it would be a way of me forgetting things were like wrong and like icky. They would always comfort me and they would never leave me, like they were very much attached to me. So that was a good coping mechanism for me. So I was very into music and creativity when I was younger. I still am, but I don't practice like art and creativity and music as much as I used to. Every time I was sad or I needed to escape almost reality, I would turn to art and express myself through art, and I'd express myself through music, and I'd write like long compositions of music that expressed how I felt. We used to have spring concerts and winter concerts and Christmas carols and everything, and I would play in the concerts. People would love what I would play, and you know, it made me feel better because it was my way of expressing how I felt and they liked it, so I almost felt understood in a different way. What else helped me? I'm not sure what else helped me when I was younger, but right now what has helped me has been going to like authority figures, I don't know if that's the right word, but professionals that are able to help me in my situation. So for example, I went to a youth worker and she helped me to get out of the house I was living in with my family, as it wasn't a really nice environment for me to live in. So she really helped me, and she was always there for me whenever I needed her. She was really good to me. So she really supported me along the way. And now I have a support worker and she is also very amazing, and whenever I need her she's there for me, and she helps me in different ways where she'll speak to me if I need to speak, or sometimes I won't want to speak and I'll be very withdrawn. So we'll draw pictures and I'll draw how I feel instead. So it'll go back to when I was younger, where I would express myself through paintings and art and music. So in our sessions we'll draw, and that's another way of me expressing myself. Or we'll just talk about like small talk, like what was on the telly or our day or stuff, just to distract myself, because sometimes I don't always want to talk about how I feel and I just need someone to distract me. So she supports me in different ways, which really helps me. So at the moment those are the things that are supporting me and are helping me. Now on to the things that didn't help me. What didn't help me was the stigma around mental health. So I used to almost use my friends as a tester, where that sounds really bad, but like my friends would come out and say, oh, I've got depression, I've got bipolar, I've got this, I've got that, and I would try and like see the reaction people would give to them, so I knew if I could be open with people about how I felt and what I had. And they never really got good responses, and they were teased and they were bullied, and so they weren't treated very nicely. And then it got to a point where my nan passed away when I was about 14, and I didn't care about what people thought anymore because I was so like zoned out. I wasn't really with reality. I was very sick and I didn't care. I was self-harming very heavily at this point. And then someone went to my teacher, and my teacher didn't really have an understanding of mental health or of self-harm. So he called me into his office and asked me like what was going on and if I was okay. So I was like, oh my god, he cares. And then he asked to see my arms, and then I showed him, and he basically said that it wasn't that bad and it could be a lot worse. So it really like made me feel really undermined, and told me that I was an attention seeker, and he didn't understand why I would do such a thing. So it really pushed me back from even trying to get help, and I didn't really want to reach out after that. Another thing that didn't help me was my family. My family, they believed I was attention seeking, and they would just believe I was moody, and They were very horrible to me, and every time that they realised or figured out that I was going to a therapy session, they would make it into a joke. They would tell me that I belonged in a crazy house, or, you know, like really horrible comments, and it just wasn't nice. And I got called an attention seeker a lot, or that self-harm was a phase and that I'd grow out of it. What didn't help was the lack of understanding around mental health and the stigma. It really stopped me from getting help. And another thing that didn't help me was there isn't enough awareness of what services are out there. Like now I'm very aware of all the services, like there are so many services that are available, but a lot of them are hidden and you really need to search for them to find them. And I think that's really a shame, because like there are really good services that can help people, but there isn't a lot of awareness for them. And so for people that are really scared of getting help, they're not going to see these services. When I was younger, I didn't know where to turn to, and it made me feel very lonely, and I didn't know if there was anyone to help me, or if there was anyone that was going to care or help me or make me feel like I mattered. I don't know if this would be related to mental health or this subject, but the amount of work in school that people had to do, where I would turn up to school and like people would have reasons. For example, like I couldn't do the work because I'd been really sick with the flu, or you know, they would have a bit more lenience for these people. Whereas if you were to come to school or to college and say, oh, you know what, I'm not feeling very good today, I'm feeling really depressed and I'm finding like the work really overwhelming, the teacher would kind of just go like, just go on with the work. Like they don't see it as something that can stop a person from doing work. So that was another thing that really didn't help me when I was younger. Again, there was a lack of awareness, and it wasn't just that, but it was just the amount of work that like I had to do and all my friends had to do, and you were trying to keep yourself like mentally stable, but then you had so much work that was overwhelming, and I was already dealing with a lot of overwhelming emotions anyway. That's my second response. Done.